And the winner is the last wrestler to go into the triple threat final. Commence wrestling!
Thank you very much to our MC, Stephen Barker. Welcome back to Rumble Wrestling TV, ladies and gentlemen. Singles action on tap from the Stour Centre in Ashford. I am your commentator, Aaron Nix. Referee, Matt Wilson in place. One fall to a finish. Scotland's own Scott Jones versus the undeniable Brandon Lee for the final place in the triple threat match later this afternoon to capture the Ashford Cup and potentially £500 as well. Quite the prize on offer. And you want to talk about two men who know each other extremely well, who have trained with each other pretty much through the predominant portion of their careers. Brandon Lee and Scott Jones meeting once again, this time at Rumble Wrestling, and a huge collar and elbow tie-up. It really is going to be hold for hold here. Both of these men know everything about each other. They've eaten together. They have travelled the road together. They understand every single facet of each other's ability to work within the squared circle. And we're going to see a lot of fantastic professional wrestling here. Scott Jones with a beautiful float over, goes straight into that wrist lock control. Nobody knows Brandon Lee like Scott Jones, but nobody knows Scott Jones like Brandon Lee. Roll for it. Scott Jones knows that and just applying more torque on that wrist lock. And look at the way he's bending that wrist all the way back. The wrist is not meant to move like that. Look at that, just planting it, placing that arm into the... Oh, I'll tell you what, the twist, the torque, you could tear ligaments. And Brandon Lee with those long legs captures it in the head scissors. This young, gangly individual in Brandon Lee, don't be fooled by the appearance. This is an extremely powerful and extremely tall athlete as well. Goes about 6'3", 250. Brandon Lee in phenomenal condition and only just starting out in this industry. You have to wonder just how far his abilities might take him. Both of these men, of course, training under the guise of British legend Joel Redman. And a beautiful shoulder block there by Scott Jones. Not often that Scott Jones has a power advantage over someone of the likes of Brandon Lee, but the momentum there took Brandon Lee over. And now a textbook headlock there, just looking to slow him down, take the life out of him. The less air that Brandon Lee is taking in, the less likely he's going to be able to build strength to overpower someone like Scott Jones. Beautiful fireman's carry there, but Scott Jones floats right through and maintains headlock control. Brandon Lee just 3 years in this business, but already looking every bit the veteran, as we've said, under the guise of the All-Star Wrestling, the British legend Joel Redman. There's the power advantage of his own. Trying to build on the fire and the energy of this audience. Both men are popular, but Brandon Lee seems to have really kicked into an extra gear, and the Rumble Wrestling fans love him wherever they see him for the most part. Both of these men, absolutely phenomenal athletes, truly a great pedigree within the sport of professional wrestling. And now Scott Jones, look at that tee off. It looks like the technical games are over, and now it's time for a bit of striking. And wow, did you see the velocity? That left elbow just driven into the chest of Brandon Lee, gets himself a 2 count. And now Scott Jones with a little bit more of that Glaswegian violence, lovely headlock takeover from such a low base position, popping the hips there, taking Brandon Lee over, and the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Absolutely counts for something here in this singles match. All about control. Scott Jones, quicker than a hiccup when he wants to be, just picked up the pace, launched into a deluge of strikes, and now has control over Brandon Lee. Now lifts him up with a gorgeous back suplex. That's the height advantage coming into play, the ability to lift your opponent higher than the average man. And now Brandon Lee looking to build some momentum of his own with clotheslines. That one particularly a big stiff clothesline right across that chest of Scott Jones. Scott Jones counts. Gorgeous tilt-well neck breaker. Absolutely textbook swinging neck breaker there. Brandon Lee looking to escape on the outside and just get a little bit of a break there. Scott Jones looking to build up for a fantastic suicide dive. Well, there's not much room out there, but Scott Jones makes use of every inch. We know this young man can find room in a phone box, and he has there as he wipes out Brandon Lee. And these fans on the outside getting a real up-close and personal look at Scott Jones and Brandon Lee, who don't mind a little bit of brawling. And oh, wow, Scott Jones just dumped onto those empty chairs on the outside. And believe me, there aren't many empty chairs here. Over 400 strong in Ashford. Brandon Lee doesn't mind a bit of a brawl, but there we go. There's the Glaswegian technique coming into play, just bouncing Brandon Lee's face off the ring post. And Scott Jones, let's be honest, he loves to fight. That's what he does. He loves to brawl. He loves to mix it up. He loves to throw hands. He did travel all the way from Glasgow, Scotland, just to play fancy with Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee knows that, and that's why he's looking to exercise that power advantage. A big scoop slam. Absolute power on display from Brandon Lee, who now, for a gorgeous rolling senton, goes right across the chest of Scott Jones, wiping the air out of his lungs. Is that enough? Oh my God. 2 7/8 as Matt Wilson's hand was coming right down for the pre-count. Scott Jones escaped just when a 250-pound athlete like Brandon Lee rolls across your chest like that. Who can blame you barely getting out of a free count? A normal man would have been kept down for free quite easily from that. Now Brandon Lee going to the air, and it's high risk, high wipeout as the shoulder and the elbow all knotted up from landing on the floor. And oh my God, the counter there! Brandon Lee catches Scott Jones in midair with a huge spine buster. Now Brandon Lee again looking to build on the energy. We thought he might have missed his opportunity when he buried himself off the second rope with that elbow drop, but he caught Scott Jones coming in with a spine buster, and once again both men really taking a lot of punishment considering the length of this match. We're only about 6 minutes in, but both men have absorbed an astonishing amount of punishment. And now it's time to trade off, and this is where you feel like Scott Jones should have an advantage. Because Scott Jones loves to strike. Oh wow, speaking of strikes, that European uppercut almost took Scott Jones' head off. Oh my God, that left foot right in the face of Brandon Lee, and oh my God, Glasgow kiss, both men going for a headbutt. Both men are down as referee Matt Wilson begins the count. The velocity of the headbutts, both men with the proverbial chinner absolutely flattened each other. Referee Matt Wilson is now up to 5. Both men have until 10 to regain composure, otherwise this match will be over. And that's not what anyone wants. But it better be quick. Both men still down. At a 9 count, referee Matt Wilson and Brandon Lee coming alive, and just not enough. And that headbutt seems to have done serious damage. Both men are down for a count of 10. Where does that leave tonight's Ashford Cup Triple Threat Final?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the referee's decision, both wrestlers failing to meet the count of 10. It's a double knockout. Show your appreciation for Scott Jones and for Brandon Lee.
A double knockout, which means a double knockout, courtesy of our MC Stephen Barker. And what that essentially means, if I'm not mistaken, is that both men will not be able to participate in the triple threat match, which means it will now just be a singles contest to determine the Ashford Cup winner.